I'm turning 25 and I feel like a failure. Hoi, what's up guys, and welcome to my birthday life update, because today, so when the video is uploaded, will mark my 25th birthday, and I want to get into why I feel like a failure. So first of all, I want to tell you what I'm actually doing or what's coming on this channel. So currently, like you saw in the last video, I'm on a SARMS Osterine cycle and I've decided to go that road. So I want to test throughout the years, probably now if all goes well, different SARMs, but from good sources where I really know that there are SARMs in there. I want to make several blood works and blood samples in order to give you a full update on how my blood work looks like. If you take real SARMs from good sources, like I said before, then I could educate maybe more people, especially the young people, on why they should wait to take them and when's maybe a good entry point and if you really want to do it, so, and what to expect. But that's not the point now of the video. That's what I want to do with fitness side of things and with YouTube, but still vlogs and that stuff I also want to do with YouTube, so stay tuned for what's coming. But why do I feel like a failure? So turning 25 is a important mark in life because it's exactly in the middle of your 20s, and the 20s are here to make failures and to make mistakes, so therefore I'm on a good path. But I've seen that I failed many times on things I've tried. So the last few years I tried several jobs, from being a cook to going to university to study different subjects to make my fitness and nutrition trainer or coach, and then to joining a factory and now working as a waiter and half time in inbound marketing for a friend of mine. So I tried many different things. I also tried many different activities like combat sport that I've said I want to follow professionally this year, or to try to make a path in that field, but where I eventually got diagnosed with spondylolisthesis, so it's a back injury, or it's a slipped vertebra, which hinders me to really train mixed martial arts effectively, and it makes everything a bit complicated. Maybe it's an excuse, so if I really wanted to do or really wanted to follow this path, I'm sure I would find ways, because I'm a huge believer in what the mind can believe it can achieve, but probably it isn't important enough for me, and I've always came back to fitness, so not natural bodybuilding, because I'm not natural anymore if I take SARMs, but always to working out. And I always like the men's physique athletes, their looks, especially also the fitness YouTubers. Maybe I can blend in some people I really like to follow and which I admire. And I always believed when I started fitness I want to go down that road, but I never had the courage to even start YouTube at a young age, or beliefs like I'm not good enough, there are enough people who are following this, and always such thoughts that held me back. But it's funny because every time I tried something I always came back to fitness and always to that goal. So it's like God always hindered me to follow different things in order to get back to where probably I should be. And it's funny because it really seems like my life is going a few months on track, then off track, then a year or two on track, then off track. So I always try different things out, which I'm proud that I do, because always if I have an impulse to do something I do it, but it often turns out as a mistake. But I've got more knowledge through doing that. That's pretty important, because I saw, for example, with combat sport, I really learned how important stretching is, especially if you work out often. It's really important that your joints and everything, your muscles are healthy. So something I really learned is daily stretching in the evening is pretty important, maybe even in the morning, but that's not what I'm currently doing. Also the self-improvement road and everything, self-development is also something I want to keep doing, because it really taught me a lot. And I'm also following a lot the lessons or the teachings of Neville Goddard. There probably I want to make more videos on that, because I think the Bible is often misunderstood. I don't want to say that I found the truth, but I think Goddard really makes it clear why things are written in the Bible like that and why stories are written like that. And I often had problems when I followed the normal religion or the Christian religion. I always had problems to interpret the Bible correctly, but now I really understand it better why it's so strange. So maybe I can link a video of Neville Goddard in the description, but I want to talk more about that in the future. Maybe you'll see even on this video I'm drifting off, but that's because I don't structure my videos clearly, because I want to speak out of my heart and what's really on my mind. So why do I feel really like a failure? It's not just I failed many times, because I always read and hear and see that successful people always have the tendency to fail a lot, but they try a lot. So that's not the problem with it. It's more like I really succeeded maybe a handful of times. So when fitness, I had my breakthrough when I was growing up fat, and then I really got a nice physique. But even if I got it, I always drifted off. And it's with everything. It's with YouTube. When the Moroccan videos really gained attraction, I fell off again, and I produced content which is not so good in my opinion. I have to learn a lot and I have to improve a lot. And I found a job as a waiter where I really like the people I work with, and I also have a nice community around me, so the people I interact I really like. And I found a nice side hustle besides YouTube where I even get some money from it, so that's also pretty cool. But in terms of feeling like a failure, is because I see others with 25 in my age, they already found their ideal job where they say they could do that forever or for a decade or so. They also have a nice family situation, like they have a girlfriend they have met a few years ago, and they are already planning to make a family, and they have a steady income, which in my case, besides my job as a waiter, I don't really have, because the money I earn from marketing and sales is very fluctuating. Same with YouTube. YouTube is 15 euros a month, and from marketing and sales it's around 500 now. So in total I earn a normal wage, I would say, if I would make a full-time job, that of course. But I also have to put in the same hours. So I like the stuff that I do because it's the path I want to go down, so I can do the things I want to do. I have a very flexible schedule, and most of the time I can go after my dreams. So that's pretty important to me. So the freedom I already achieved a bit. Maybe I can link the video where I talked about my journey to freedom, so to be unscripted. So I really can say that I made good progress in that term, so I don't really feel like a slave anymore that have to do things he doesn't want to do, so that's good. But I'm still far away from really being free financially, for example, and in terms of being free mentally, because I realize I struggle still a lot with thinking about what other people think of me, and that holds me back a lot, because I can't be authentic like I am with friends around others as much. Sometimes I am, sometimes not, but especially when I want to make a video here in South Tyrol, I still struggle. And maybe you saw it in the Suche vlogs that I wasn't really committed to making the videos. I was more to enjoy the journey, and it wasn't the best experience. The experience was good, but it wasn't the best in terms of video recording and to provide you with a good, enjoyable videos. So I really want to better that. So in terms of videos, I really want to be more entertaining. Means I want to be more me, bring more fun to the videos, don't take myself so seriously, because I see it like a service. If you make videos, it's like a service for the people, because they maybe need someone like me, because in my region there is a handful of people that makes content, but they are always making content in our language, so in South Tyrolese, the German dialect. And I really want to push it with English, because I want to gain attraction from other countries, not just South Tyrol, to maybe bring them more to South Tyrol, but I also want to make it in order to show the people here in South Tyrol that if you really have a dream and that you really want it, that it's really possible to achieve it. Because I've always looked up to the people who went out to the world from a small country or a small place where they were the first one who did a thing and then gained attraction, and then they were celebrated in their home country. It doesn't mean that I want to be celebrated here in South Tyrol, that's not what I'm aiming for, but I want to have an influence, like the name says, influencer, although I don't like really the name, like a content creator from my region that proves that everything is possible if you really, really want it. So maybe I haven't wanted enough, that's also true. I also have to say I have still many vices, many mistakes I need to better myself in, especially bad habits like drinking or procrastinating. I'm not always the most confident, also something I struggle with, so therefore I really have to work on those things. I like my work ethic because I've really quit a lot, like gaming and stuff like that, and I'm constantly just either working on myself or working on the duties I have to do, and I enjoy the duties I have to do, so that's good. But it's still hard because the external things aren't how I want them to be, but I think that's a progress, and I still believe and have faith that that will change, but only time will tell. So if you feel like a failure like me with 25, maybe it's even good, because if you feel like a failure, you want to better yourself and you want to progress on your path in order to not be a failure, if you know what I mean. So maybe that's good. So I'm grateful for where I'm at, I'm grateful for the people I'm surrounded with and where I live, but I'm not really happy with my current situation. So maybe that video helped some of you. I know I talked a lot about me, but it should be a video of my current experiences and my life, so maybe you can take something from it. And if I really could make a final message that I would give my younger self, maybe 5 years ago, is that even if your external situation is nothing like you've ever dreamed it to be, keep the faith, keep the vision in your head that it's still possible to turn things around, and that you find your way even if you can't see it right now. That would be probably the message I needed 5 years ago, and maybe some 20-year-old will watch the video and needed to hear that message. So we will see us in the next video. I don't know yet what it will be, but you will see us soon. Goodbye. Vielen Dank.